Okay, so I'm going to continue with talking about how to modify your theme. Now, right now I'm using 2017 theme. And if you go to Appearance, Themes, the theme editor, it loads. I mentioned that you have all these files that you can modify here for your theme, but you shouldn't modify these styles in this theme itself, because this theme was created by, in this case, the WordPress team. Other themes could have been created by other authors, and sometimes these authors may create changes in their themes and upload a newer version. It's very much like how on your Android phone or your iPhone, if there's updates to an app, the phone will tell you to download those updates. So themes are similar, where if an author makes changes to their original theme on their computer, they're going to upload it to somewhere, where it's the WordPress site or somewhere else, and you have the option to download those updates. If you made your changes directly in any of these files here, and then you download the author's new changes, they're going to overwrite yours. So that's one of the reasons why you don't want to modify things in this theme, unless you absolutely have to, because you're in a rush or you just need a quick and dirty way of modifying the theme. You could go ahead and modify the style.css in here and some of these files. But just keep in mind that if you choose to download the updates from the author, then it's going to overwrite your work. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you don't want to modify things in here unless you absolutely have to. So then the question becomes, well, how do you actually start modifying this theme? One of the ways, the best practice way, is to make something called a child theme. So a child theme basically is something where you inherit every aspect of the parent theme. So in this case, all the files and all the styles in this 2017 theme, but you can choose for very specific components or specific styles, you can write your own to override the parent behavior. So how do we do that? So I'm going to actually show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to go to my FTP manager. So I'm going to go over here to, okay, so this here on the right is my WordPress instance on the server. And I've already clicked into the content folder in the themes. This left side is just my own computer, and I have some files ready. So to make a child theme, so right now we're using 2017. So we're going to make a new folder called 2017 child, directory, 2017 child. Right, so we have a folder. We can click into it. Now this folder, we're going to put files in here to override anything. If we want to add a custom behavior, override anything in the parent theme. Okay. Now it's not yet registered with WordPress. WordPress doesn't know that this theme exists yet. So to do that, you need two files to start up your theme. You need a functions.php and a style.css. And I've already prepared those, and I'll quickly show them right here. So the first file you need is the style.css, and you only need two things in this file to start off. Right? You can put in your theme name. So I'll call it 2017 child. It can be anything you want, really. And the template is going to be called 2017. It's kind of a way to tell the parent folder, tell WordPress that the parent is going to be this one. Okay. So just start off with these two. WordPress is going to actually, in CSS that anything between comments is not processed by the browser, but WordPress just has a special behavior that it'll look in the comments for these two declarations, the theme name and the template name. So you definitely have to have those two filled out first. Okay. So just have that started up. The next thing you need is the functions.php. So I'll go ahead and, let me open it from my folder here. Okay. So the other thing you need is you have to register. So you have the style.css. That's the first thing. But now you need to create something called a functions.php file to register your style.css in your entire theme within WordPress. Actually, what's happening here is, WordPress is built in PHP. So some of you have already learned JavaScript, and you know how if you have JavaScript code, you normally have to write your JavaScript code between a couple of script tags, right? Like this. And then you type in your whatever your JavaScript code is in here, right? PHP is similar, where you have to write your PHP code between PHP tags. So there's one here, and if you don't have a closing PHP tag, PHP knows automatically to provide one, right? So you could have a closing tag like this for PHP, but you don't have to sometimes if you're ending the file with PHP anyway. Okay, so we'll just do that. And within PHP, we're going to say that we are going to load some scripts, right? So this is a PHP function. We're going to load, this is something called a WordPress hook, which I'll have to explain at another time. But the first argument is always this, right? And then you give a function, the name of a function that you're going to be calling. So this we're going to call this function, and we define this function here. Now this function, so this is a variable, parent style. And then we have this other WordPress function that's saying, let's inherit all the styles from the parent style, from the parent directory, and also use this specific CSS file. Let's also say that we have a child style, which is this newly create style.css that we have here, and we're going to load it into our theme as well, right? So that's all you need for this functions.php to start off. So once you have these two files made, right, just copy it line by line like that. You go ahead and upload it into your child theme folder. There we go. And now if you actually go to WordPress, go back to appearances, you should have an option here, 2017 child. So this is the parent. Let's actually use the child theme. Activate it. And you will notice that if you go back to your website and just hit refresh, it still looks exactly the same, right? Because your child theme is using everything from your parent theme. Now, if you actually go into your child theme editor and you actually type in something, so let's go ahead and modify something. Let's pick, okay, let's make all anchor links blue, right? So let's just say color blue, and I'm going to put an important tag just to force it to be blue. Whoops. We'll go ahead and hit save. Hit refresh. All our links will be blue. See, there we go. So our child theme has caused everything to be blue, right? So I added in here, but that just modifies things directly off of the server, because if I were to choose, if I download the same file from the server and I go back here, I open up this tab, let me actually try again. Unless I made a mistake. No, it should be like that. So if I open this time, there we go. So you can see that this, you can see that the CSS that I typed into WordPress was actually written directly to the server, and then the server updated the file. So when I download, you can see that here. Okay? So now you can go ahead and upload, put all your style sheet changes here. You can just type anything you want. Right? So you can type any styles you want in here and go ahead and upload it from here back up to here, or just modify whatever you need to from here. Okay, so that's how you start the child theme. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I go to here. I'm going to type a page I know for sure doesn't exist. I'm going to say pizza is a great way to lose to stay healthy, right? I don't have a page like that at all. So what I'm going to get is a 404 page, right? And this 404 page that you're seeing actually comes from the parent theme. So you can see in the parent theme, there's a 404 page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and download it to my computer. Then I'm going to go ahead and edit this 404 page that I have, right? I'm going to change this piece of text here, right? Say, this does not exist. Right? Oh, typo, but what, it doesn't matter. I want that typo so you can see for sure that this is something I typed. One thing I want to mention is you see there's a function called _e. This is PHP's way of doing translations. So you've put an English piece of text in here. It's going to look through, let's say, a dictionary file that you may or may not have created. It's going to look for this exact phrase. And if this phrase is found in, let's say your website is supposed to be in French. And if your dictionary file has a French translation for this, it will automatically use the French translation. If it doesn't, then it'll just stick with this text. So that's what this _e function is used for in PHP. Right? So if you don't type your text in here and you just type it out here, it's never going to be translated. Yeah, this will never be translated even if you have a dictionary file for that. But that's fine. It's just something to keep in mind if you have to do multiple language websites. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and upload this 404.php into my child theme folder because remember, we do not want to modify the parent theme. Okay, so now it's in my child theme folder. And what WordPress will do is it's going to look, if WordPress finds a file in your child theme, it will use that over the one that's in the parent. Right? So the file names have to be exactly the same. If I hit refresh, WordPress finds that my 404.php exists, so it's going to take that instead of the parent files 404, and that's why that's how you override the theme. So you can see how this can be very useful because for all the files that you have in your parent theme here, for each one of these templates, for the header, for the index, for the page loading, for the search forms and everything, you can choose to completely override this. There are also template parts. So these are considered sub templates that you can also override in your own folder. If you keep the same directory, let's say if you want to modify the header image.php, create a folder in your child theme called template parts header, and then with this exact file name, and you can modify it, right? Modify it to something completely different. Use a div tag, use something else, doesn't matter. And then if it's in your child theme, you'll take that over the parent theme.